This is the first video of the restoration of the B25 Mitchell bomber, which arrived at East Kirkby in November 2022. It'll be restored to taxiing condition first and then on to airworthy condition. They hope to get this taxiing by the time the Lancaster comes off the line to have the middle section of fuselage and wing restored to airworthy condition. This could be out of commission for at least a year to 18 months or even longer, depending on what they find when they strip it down. The B25 Mitchell bomber, which arrived in November 2022. Hi, this is the second aircraft the Lincolnshire Aviation Heritage Centre will make airworthy. The first will be the Lancaster Just Jane NX611, which is in its 8th year. There are over 300 videos on this channel of the restoration. It's 2.5 years since the B25 arrived at East Kirkby. It came from the RAF Museum. The centre put in a bid to acquire this aircraft. One rule in the bidding was it had to be housed under cover. In the 1940s, World War II, RAF received 900 of these aircraft, operating around 240 of different variants in the UK. The rest operating in the Middle East and Far East for the RAF. Removing the wing section from the transporter. Hopefully I'll be able to upload onto YouTube the first Wednesday in each month, just once a month. I have collected videos of the B25 on most of my visit to EK over the last 2.5 years. To start with, after it had been assembled, the volunteers working on the B25 came from the Lancaster Restoration Project. Aid was the first of the volunteers just to work on the B25 Mitchell bomber. But during this time, he too had been seconded to help with the Lancaster. He was later joined by Terry and Andy, and in the last months by Paul and Dave number 3. These lads are volunteers working 2 days a week. Some of the electric cable loom had been cut through instead of undoing them at the end correctly. This will have been done some time ago during dismantling. This aircraft is not yet registered with the CAA, but will be later when they change the restoration to airworthy. Work done from the start on the aircraft will comply to CAA rules, condition and paperwork, making it more acceptable to the CAA when registering for airworthy restoration. An outside team came to assemble the framework, fit the 2 engines and have it standing on its tricycle undercarriage. Control wires, cables and electric wirings were not fitted. I'll take a look around the dismantled aircraft, then into the team which assembled the B25. There are 3 description information boards standing in front of the aircraft. 2 of these are shown at the end of the video. The Lancaster was built with magnesium alloy rivets. Over time the rivets have corroded away, so all the rivets in the Lancaster NX611 have to be replaced. along with most of the skins. The B25 bomber were not made of this type of rivet, so they don't have to be replaced. The airframe, I've been told, is in good condition. This will save time and money on the restoration work. Any repairs to the frame will be done to the following correct Mitchell and CAA procedure. During my working life, I've never worked on aircraft. To my untrained eye, it looks one hell of a mess. Ada started with repairing the flight crew escape hatch, which is situated above their heads, and then moving on to more structural repairs. All the flying controls have been removed and paint stripped, ready for NDT of this area before any repairs and then repainting. I will start uploading videos of the restoration, first of taxiing condition and later to airworthy conditions. These will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. To start with, one per month. 4 engines came with the aircraft. 2 have been in the US for the last 2 years being reconditioned. They will be back in the UK beginning of this summer, year 2025. Sorry, time is short at home, so unable to answer your comments. I read them and the engineers do so please keep them coming. Hopefully I will receive some from engineers who restore the B25 in the USA. See you on Wednesday. You may have seen some of these clips in the first video. I did put some clips on the Lancaster restoration videos. I would think it would be 12 or more episodes before coming up to date. In some places they have not been as careful when dismantling, cutting through the electric loom cables. This could have been any time in the last 30 years. Going back to November 2022, the arrival of the Mitchell B25. Aid is repairing one of the 2 corrosion areas in the floor, which I will cover in the later video. These are 2 of the engines which came with the aircraft. The team arrived to assemble the B25. The first day of the assembly team, the team starts to raise the centre section, building it up on wooden pallets to enable the undercarriage to come down.
Put all aircraft together, I don't know much about them. Yeah. What was the
I returned to East Kirkby 4 or 5 days later. The plane is on its wheels. Sticky lends a hand with the alignment of the props.
fact, that's even better, that one.
When you say better, what way? Or are you talking about the props then?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up, Nick. John and Jacob start squaring up the aircraft.
Panelling all these back up, put the engine panels back on, but we're taking them all off, taking all the cowling rails off, and then put these rubber pieces of rubber over the spark plug ends. So took all the spark plugs out, well, all the inlet spark plugs out and inhibited, and then put all these over all of the spark plugs to stop them being able to give the mag a spark.
Oh, yeah.
So I put this panel off, but Spen made the mags safe by grounding them. So yeah, there's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Right, well that's a good start.
yeah. Right now I'm just taking these panels off, making sure they fit. We weren't sure which order the cowling rails needed to go back on in. But we're getting there. And then we've got flaps to fit and more bigger stuff to fit.
Yeah.
But now the engines are inhibited and they can be sent off.
Both engines.
Yeah, both engines are done.
Right, thanks Jacob.
No worries.
Aid has started to replace the perspex in the escape hatch situated in the cockpit. A piece of aluminium covered the damaged perspex.
As you can see, the perspex has gone crazed. So what happened was that in the past someone had fitted aluminium over the perspex.
Escape hatch in place before its removal.
The result of that is you can't see anything when you're in the cockpit because there's no light coming in. So I've taken the metal out. We can make a new perspex panel and then put it all back together how it should be.
And this is what, over in the cockpit where the pilot is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's over the cockpit. It's not bad. It's in quite good condition, really. It's just it's got a lot of old sealant around the edges of it. So
yeah.
So I'm just taking the sealant out.
Yeah, I know. Is the mechanism here still working all right?
Yeah. It's all good. Yeah, it still functions.
Oh, it does. It's still good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. And luckily, to do this, we don't have to disturb that. So
yeah.
That can just be left to it.
And these are just go in there to lock it in place.
Yeah. So yeah, you got pins all round. So basically, when you pull your red handle down, all the pins withdraw, and you just push the panel out the top.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. What would cause that to go like that? Just bad handling or?
Ultraviolet. It's the sun.
The sun. Yeah.
It's the sun affects perspex quite badly.
Same as yeah.
Yeah. You can see it on not those because they're too new, but the back perspex in the tail gunner's position.
Yeah.
They're more like this level of crazy.
Yeah.
This is just the sun that's got to this over the
Is it the same on the front?
Yes.
That's just beginning to go, isn't it?
And there's one that little clear view panel on the front is that's very bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just age and the sun.
Two of the display informational panels in front of the aircraft.